Hi, Taylor T. Carlson, and once again, vinyl haul time. Been to a few stores around town and also ordered a few things online during some sales on a few websites, so time again to show off my latest finds. This was actually a gift. We're going to start off with this. My friend Sylvia, who runs Z-Rocker, the site that I used to do my reviews for, gave me this. This is a picture disc from the band Girl. This is a new wave of British heavy metal band that featured Phil Collen before he was in Def Leppard and Phil Lewis before he was in LA Guns. So, nice piece of history here. A lot of people tend to overlook this band, but they put out some cool stuff. If you're a fan of either of those musicians, it's worth looking into. Got another 45 over Record City. This is Somewhere Out There, the theme to the movie An American Tale. This one still gets played on the radio pretty regularly. And for the B-side on this, there's even a instrumental version of the title track. Interesting piece of trivia. The producer on here was a guy named Peter Asher. Peter Asher was half of the classic 60s British invasion duo Peter and Gordon. They're probably best known for their hits A World Without Love and I Go to Pieces. Interesting find at Record City. I had literally never heard of this guy before, but this was too interesting to pass up. This is Guy Man Dude, and this is a mostly instrumental guitar album. There's guest appearances on here from Kevin DuBrow from Quiet Riot, and even Alice Cooper. I don't know how I'd never heard of this guy before, because it's actually a pretty solid, mostly instrumental record. I would put this guy right up there in that same category as guys like Vinnie Moore, Tony McAlpine, Michelangelo Badio. In fact, I think he actually played with Michelangelo Badio at one point, but this was very interesting. Every now and then you make one of those finds that you just don't expect or aren't even looking for, and that's a prime example. And I got this as part of one of those buy two, get one sales on either Target or Amazon, and this is Queen 2, the second album from Queen. If the cover art looks familiar, that's the style of posing they would later use in the promotional video for the song Bohemian Rhapsody, although that song wouldn't come till a later record. Here's the back cover with the track list and, of course, the Queen crest. Oddly enough, the gatefold on this is actually vertical, so you open it like this, and great photo of the band on the inside. There's our track list. Then if you open this up and you look at the lyric sheet, there's side white and side black, rather than sides 1 and 2 or A and B, because those guys always had to have a sense of humor. And this is carried over onto the label on the sleeve. I mean, here we got the black side, and here we got the white side. This is a great early Queen record. Some very underrated songs on here, including Someday, One Day, Father to Son, Ogre Battle, The March of the Black Queen, Seven Seas of Rye. This is a very underrated early Queen album that is not to be overlooked if you're a fan. Another online purchase. This is Dokken, The Lost Songs, 1978 to 1981. Back when Don Dokken was first getting started in the music business, these are some early songs. They're really not much more than demos and early live tracks, so sound quality is not the best, but it's an interesting piece of history. I know some of these have actually been released online, unofficially and on bootlegs and stuff. Here's the track list. The song Prisoner on here is not the same song that they recorded on the Back for the Attack album in 1987, although the song Felony is actually an early version of the song that would later appear on their proper debut, Breaking the Chains. Here's the lyric sheet. Got some pretty cool rare photos on the other side. I got this one off eBay because unfortunately I couldn't find it in any store on Amazon. This is The Move, Message from the Country. The Move is the band that Jeff Lynne, Roy Wood, and Bev Bevan were in before ELO. This was actually recorded around the same time the first ELO album was. This was the last album from The Move, and there's some great tunes on here. It's a little different from ELO, but you can also kind of see where it would seeg into the first ELO album. The Move actually recorded some songs that weren't on this album that would go on to become big hits for other artists, including Do Ya, which they would remake with ELO and would later be covered by Ace Frehley. And there was also a song called California Man that they did, famously later covered by Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick also covered the Move song Blackberry Way. So these guys have their share of respect, and this was a great final album for them. Got this at Record City. This is Cheap Trick, Next Position Please. Produced by Todd Rundgren, this is one of their 80s albums. Very underrated. It has the title track, which was moderately popular, and then the minor hit, I Can't Take It. I love Cheap Trick. And any chance I have to get another one of their albums, I always take it. So this was one I needed for the collection. Here's some photos there. I think this is actually a photo montage of their albums that came out before this. And then there's a great photo of the band on the back, as well as track list and credit information. Another interesting find at Record City. This is Godzilla Live, Blue Oyster Cult live version of that classic song by them with the studio version on the B-side. From what I can tell, this was like a promo-only radio thing. Yeah, if you look down there, there's the text, and then you got the little disclaimer down there about how it's a promo. There's a promotion-only sticker on the back. Looks like this one got some water damage. I wonder how rare this is, because I'd literally never seen or heard of this before, and it was a promo-only thing for radio stations, so maybe that increases the rarity. Who knows? I bought this one. This is a new reissue over Record City. This is Iron Maiden. First album from one of heavy metal's all-time great bands. Back when their earlier singer Paul Di'Anno was still in the band. It's a little more punky and raw than their later stuff, but I love this early record. Got great tracks on here, including Prowler and the song Iron Maiden, which are re-recordings of songs from their early demo EP release, the Soundhouse tapes. There's other tracks like slower melodic ones like Strange World and Remember Tomorrow. Great rockin' anthems like Charlotte the Harlot and Running Free. The mini-epic Phantom of the Opera, which is a personal favorite. This was their only album to feature Dennis Stratton on guitar. He'd be replaced by Adrian Smith for their subsequent album, Killers. Rest in peace, drummer Clive Burr. And last, but certainly not least, another Record City find. This is Aerosmith, Pump. This is the follow-up to the very successful Permanent Vacation record. And this is from an era in the late 80s, early 90s when vinyl started falling out of favor. So vinyls from this album, from this era, are kind of hard to find unless they've been reissued. So this was an interesting find. Bruce Fairbairn produced this. He produced Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet, as well as the sophomore album from Black and Blue, Without Love. There's the track list right there. Great photo of the band. And unfortunately, no fancy liner notes in this one, but this one has some great tunes like Young Lust, Love in an Elevator, Janie's Got a Gun, The Other Side, and What It Takes, all of which became huge hits for Aerosmith, who at that point was really starting to come back on board. And that about does it for this vinyl haul. Have you picked up any great vinyl finds lately? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, give a shout out if there's a store you'd like to shop at. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel because I'm always posting new videos, and give this one a like if you found it helpful or interesting. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you in my next video.